As demand for goods increases, a revolution in the transportation industry took place. Canals were made so that large ships, such as barges, could come into the docks and export and transport goods, though this was a slow and costly thing to do. Later on, roads and canals weren't used as much as railways. Before railways came in, people were limited to wooden tracks and horses and carts. It took several days to travel between towns. Advances in steam engines and using steam as the main source of power for machines were a major influence in getting trains up and running on railways. This made transportation twice as easy and twice as efficient as with barges. It was cheaper to use steam engines to transport, and it was done a lot quicker than by road or canal. Turnpikes were then invented. They were brought up by people called trusts, who were full-time road managers. They had power to borrow money to repair and improve roads. They were a group of about 1,700 people during the 1750s. Bridges were built. They put gates at the beginnings and end of each bridge where tolls could be collected. By the 1800s, all the British roads and bridges were collected by turnpike trusts. Transportation was then improved a ton and fragile goods could be moved without much damage. Government then took over the road maintenance. Britain is full of waterways and rivers. The bad thing about using rivers was that they didn't always go through where goods were needed, so they need to transport them by trucks after the barge which was carrying the goods got in as far as possible. That's where canals were made. They made it easy to transport goods directly to their destination. Canals were very expensive, but they were met with amazing economic growth immediately. They used horses to pull barges along on either side of the canal. A horse could carry a 30-ton barge along the river. They were very quick and smooth, and even were used by travelers for moving between towns. Canals later came to a way less popular decision for transportation as steam engine railway transports came about. Railways. James Watt was the founder of steam engines. As soon as he got his steam engine working, horses pulling carts went out the door. As steam technology was perfected, it became extremely popular and an effective mode of transport around Britain. They were built all over Britain and were immediately used a lot. The main benefit of railways was the speed of which they could transport goods around Britain. Big and small goods could be transported quicker and more efficient than the roads or canals. There was little risk of damage, and they could be transported further around Britain. They were used to cross from one side of Britain to the other. Railways dramatically changed the pace of the Industrial Revolution. Everything was more efficient, making transportation with goods and travelling so much easier.